And just like that, we're back. Hey, how the heck are you? I've already screwed this up. I'm doing this wrong. I'm Don. It's late. I'm up. Hi. How the heck are you guys? I've been missing you so much. I've been off living life adventures and trying new and crazy things. Thought tonight we would have this stream and talk about some of those. We talk about one of my favorite movies of all time, Raising Arizona. Probably one of the best Coen Brothers movies, although they have so many. We'll get into their work as well. I thought we'd also maybe talk about how this movie pertains to me and what I got going on in my life. Hmm. But anyways, I thought I would start off with hollering at some of these folks I see pouring into the chat. So nice to see some of these familiar avatars. I was just over at Hobbs Horror's 10th anniversary special. He's been 10 years on YouTube, so check out my buddy Hobbs Horror. Him and the community he's cultivated over there. Best people, some of my coolest friends I've made on the entire internetings, and I've been on the internetings for a long time since the inception. I say, I was an early adopter. Hey, let's see what we got. Oh, it looks like they're raiding me. I love a good raid. Oh, let me see here. We got all sorts of fun folks pouring in. Jim is here now. It's Dark Jim, my favorite. How are you doing, Jim? If you can tell, there's a door right here that's sort of cropped out of frame. At any point, Jim may be coming through that door. He's kind of a Kramer in my life. Um, let's see. He's got dibs on me, and I got dibs on him. So suck it, Limonia. That is a shout out to our friend Limonia Demonia. She is also currently on the Hobbs Horror 10th anniversary spectacular special with special guests and all of the above. So once again, I recommend checking out that stream. I'm assuming it's wrapping up, but otherwise, be sure to watch the replay. Those guys are they're pillars of the community, I say. Greetings and salutations, my friend Professor Macabro. I think of Macabro all the time. I'll get to that when we talk about it. But I mean, who doesn't think about Macabro? To know him is to love him. Oh, let's see here. Patrick is here. Have Cheetah will view hoot hoot. Patrick has been one of the people. Him and my main man, the horror cat dad Larry, have frequently just poked in and checked on me on Instagram or whatever. I've been MIA, literally. We'll get into that. But I've been web dark for a while. For a long time, I didn't have good internet access. I had it on my phone, but basically, I would have to like go to a McDonald's or something to get quality things. That's part of the reason I wasn't online. So, Patrick and Larry would always send little messages of "I hope you're doing okay" and things. So, Patrick's a cool, cool dude. I appreciate him a lot. I am here to see the Don Jim joint. All righty. Well, at any point, special guest. We'll see. Never can tell. Um, Mr. Bones says, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." Frequent collaborator and tag team partner, Mr. Bones. I feel bad. Part of me being gone, Mr. Bones has had to suffer. I usually am his co-pilot on his Tuesday night stream, so Mr. Bones probably owes me an ass whooping if I see him. But I love the man for being happy with me. Oh, let's see here. Casey is here. Hey, Don, long time no see. Nice to see you, Casey. I saw your pussy earlier. Casey's cat made a special appearance, much as I did on the Hobbs Horror 10th Anniversary Spectacular. So be sure to check that out. Echo says, yo. Echo Cero, yo. Oh, I already screwed this up. Whoa. How's my favorite clown? Glad to see you. Macabro says, I live. Do I, though? Anything with Nick Cage is amazing in my book. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons this is such a great stew. We've got Nicolas Cage. We've got sorry, my refrigerator compressor decided it was going to pop up in the middle of all this. Uh, it's got everything. It's got Nicolas Cage, Holly Hunter, the Coens. Anytime the Coens do work, Francis McDormand always turns up. John Goodman's fantastic in this. This crazy yodeling soundtrack. It's a lot to talk about with this movie. You stole a baby, Don? A little bit. There is the aforementioned Hobbs Horror, the birthday boy, well, the anniversary boy. Woo! Nice to see you, Hobbs. Glad you could be here. Um, I knew all my owl rolls would bring back the owl. Oh, that's right. He's been hitting me with owl rolls. I didn't realize you had an abundance of owl reels. I like to keep it real. I'm an owl. Hey everyone, welcome back. Don May and the Queen of Horror is here. There have been many queens, but there is only one true queen, and that is Mayanne. It's nice to see you, May. I missed you. You're like the Tin Man or whatever, the Scarecrow, whichever one Dorothy missed the most. Hobbs Horror with woo! Texas Russell, nice to see you. Yay, Don. I'm glad you were here, Texas. Um, One of the few times I was able to log on, I think I caught a little bit of a stream with Sean and you guys. It's all been a blur. The last few months, I think I've taken, according to YouTube, my last video was like 4 months ago, my last live one. So a 4 month late summer break, I guess you can call it. Jennifer Tochi, hey there, hey there. And she was dressed up in part of her Halloween garb since I missed Halloween on the tube. Missing Halloween with you guys it left a hole in my soul, I got to admit. But hopefully we'll be able to do some Thanksgiving and Christmas catch up. I'm glad you're back. To you. Nice to see you, Patrick. Folks are well at saying hello to each other. That's one of the things I always like about my community. Some of the best people, and they're always nice to each other, well behaved, polite, encouraging, good folks. Hello, my friends. We meet again. So, did the spectacular wrap up, or are you guys? Am I on your show? I don't know how this works, but they were threatening to come raid me, and if I'm ever going to get raided by anybody, it's that crew. Um, Spracky the Clown, there he is. Nice to see you. Jim's alternate personality or alter ego. No, Don, no stealing that baby. People frown on shit like that. They got more than they can handle, Professor. I'll be taking these Huggies, whatever cash you got in the register. Uh, Don and Cracky back. Oh, snap. Cracky in the crib. Um, pardon me. Uh, I part of my new life change and all that's be going on with season 3 of this show. You know, much like a bad sitcom, you got to shake things up somewhere around season 3. So there's been 180-degree turn, a bunch of stuff in my life. So part of it is rather than being Mr. Wisconsin, Dairyland, trapped in the snow and talking about how I can't go outside because there's a foot of snow out there and it's 12 degrees. Now I currently live in Tampa, Florida, where today it got down just below 60 and everybody was freezing and covering up their plants and stuff. So let's see here. But Montana is missing you, Don. I love Montana. I should move there. Seoul, what kind of pizza topping is that? I was out of Korea. Jonathan, you were greatly missed, buddy. Lemonia demonia. Lemonia demonia. Spooktacular 2025. Oh, I will be there for that, no matter what. I don't care if I have to chain myself to Hobbs's wrist. Oh, Villainous Vixen, Jen, nice to see you here. The strange thing about now being on the East Coast is what used to be a 2 a.m. start for me, or sorry, what would be a midnight start for me before is now a 1 a.m. start. So my usual time will actually be shifting ahead by an hour. So a lot more folks with the availability to drop in and say hello. Oh, hey, Jen, hey, man. Florida man, yeah, exactly. I'm that guy all of a sudden. I used to be Mr. Ear Flaps and Muckluck stumping around in the snow, and then now I'm Mr. Flip Flops and sun bleached hair. Um, from parts uncone. That's I believe that's our friend Russell, as I've been told in the Hobbs Horror chat. So Russell, welcome. I'm glad to see you here. So 2 Russells, no waiting. Hobbs Horror, hey Vixen as well. Glad to see you in the chats. Yeah. Nice to see everybody, man. Villains Vixen, I got Russell, I got the Professor, I got the whole crew. Well, anyways, as I was saying, this is a Coen Brothers classic tonight. So there's a lot to talk about. The Coens, Nicolas Cage. My man Bones can make fun of me for going through filmographies and taking too long to read through everybody's works, but a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. But this one's only an hour and a half tonight, so we'll probably get started here shortly. I got mine sitting on pause. Unfortunately, normally I try to find a movie that's streaming somewhere for everybody, at least on Max or Netflix or something, or preferably Tubi. But this one's been hard to find. I've actually kind of been set up and settled in, moved into a new place, internet, utilities, all that hooked up for about a month. But getting the time and schedule and everything lined up, I've been keeping my eye out for the Raising Arizona, and it's always one that Amazon wants you to buy or rent or whatever. It's like, man, can't y'all just show stuff for free? What the hell's wrong with you? God bless Texas. I was talking about Texas Russell. God bless him. Um, let's see here. Sitting on pause. Oh, I get it. That's a cat joke. See, our friend Cheetah. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be watching this on my old DVD copy. It's a clean transfer. I watched it the other day and put it on. This is a movie I've had on my mind probably quite a bit for the last 3-4 months. Um, Originally, when this show started, I'd come off of a long period of my life where I was very busy taking care of other folks, and I had a lot of stuff going on with, just other people, and there wasn't a lot of time for things like YouTubing and other stuff. Between work and taking care of people, I was maxed out. So then I got to the point where my mom, specifically, who I was helping take care of, just got better. She had a broken back and she's able to walk. She got a great boyfriend. Her life just changed. So it left me with a big hunk of free time, and that's how the show originally started. Me doing my tribute to Joe Bob Briggs, talking about movies and how it relates to me and all this interesting trivia and things about them. So that was season one, mainly me sitting around in my movie cave, talking about flicks and whatnot. And then season two, I went out on the road and was out hunting for cryptids and ghosts in the Wisconsin area. So I would spend a lot of time traipsing around dark graveyards in the middle of the night and reading up on local lore and going to historical societies and stuff. But just traveling man, staying in hotels. So there's a whole series of me hanging out in hotels, talking about movies with you guys. And during that venture of going to different hotels and moving around a lot, I met a lovely young widow with two children. And I started spending time with them a lot. And we became sort of a surrogate family. And the lovely young widow eventually became my lady friend. And we now have a child of our own that has been born this past month. She is 1 month old today. So when I said I was literally MIA, I mean it. My daughter Mia is there's a good chance she'll pop up during this stream. She likes to be fed in the middle of the night. Babies, they got no respect for live streaming. So thus I have had raising Arizona on my mind for a while. The Nicolas Cage man spending his life in and out of prison and living crazy life all of a sudden becomes family man. Sometimes I relate to it. I'll be walking down the grocery store aisle with Huggies under my arm thinking like things got different real quick. So season three, I now have a family and I'm a dad. Shit got weird quick, didn't it? We'll talk about it. Let me see what we got here. And that's why I would think of the professor often. I frequently call the kids my gremlins, as Professor does on his too. I've been trying to catch all of Nick Cage's movie career, but god damn, that man makes movies, then I can make bad jokes. Right? Cage's, if we do his filmography, it'll be 15 years later. But we might have to take a stroll down Cage Lane. I always think of the big hits, the Con Airs and the Moonstrucks and Face Off and all that. But some of the little weird ones he's had in there are very notable and interesting. I'll ever see Pig, I think it's called. Thank you for all coming to the present show tonight, part two of the doubleheader. All right, I like that. I'll be a double feature with Hobbs Horror any day of the week. No, he's the only Russell. I leave that monogram. So Tex has given up the brand, Russell brand. He's given hello. He's given up the Russell brand, so apparently he's just Texas now. I like that. I often call him Texas Russell or Tex. Anyways, Tex sounds cool. I like, what's up, Tex? I don't have any friends. Now that I have a text, I need a smoky and maybe like a corky. If you got a smoky or a corky in your life, let me know. Our friend Tochi says her VHS Nicolas Cage collection is so full. I am ready with my VHS. Oh, you got the VHS of this. Yes, I own this one on VHS and DVD. I surprisingly never upgraded to the Blu-ray. I think in a streaming world, I just always presumed this would be one that would be everywhere. And unfortunately, no, they hoard it. It's Echo says Papa Don, right? It's a strange twist and turns of affairs for me. Owlette, yeah, little baby night owl. And the messed up thing is, she from the womb, she was a night owl. She'd be relatively chill during the day, but once it got night, she'd start kicking and turning. Her poor mother was constantly like, just like, man, this baby needs to knock off with the night owl stuff. So we got her to go to sleep a little bit before I started this. So if at some point she needs to be fed, she might make an appearance. Otherwise, let's hope she sleeps through the night. As much as I'd love for you guys to meet my daughter, sleep is important for her and for my sanity. Oh my God, congrats, Don. Well, thank you. Yes, it's all very weird for me. I've spent a lot of my life being used to being an individual. So the idea of being now part of a group, the other day it hit me. It's like, at some point I could be a grandpa, assuming I don't get murdered before then. So yeah, just it's all very strange. And a lot of thoughts about that wrapped up in this movie, I think. Wow, Don, congratulations. Thank you, Texas. I appreciate that. Mayo, thank you. Your beautiful daughters often gave me comfort when I was worried about the baby. You know, you just want the baby to be healthy and happy. And I was like, I hope I have some cute little daughter like hers. So yeah, maybe someday they'll get to play together. Um, let's see here. Congratulations, congratulations. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Pig is Cage's best movies in a decade. I really liked Pig. I also liked what was it called Mandy. Mandy was weird as hell, but it's one of those you could watch over and again. It's like Kubrickian. It's what's his name? George Cosmatos' son, whatever his name is. Um, but Pig is so sad. It is. It is. But it's you know there's something about it that's just entrancing. Like it's a very slow burn, but it's fun. I still haven't seen what's the thing about being famous, the one with Pedro Pascal or whatever, the all of that. I've been meaning to watch that one too. I hope she sleeps, but can't wait to meet her. Yeah, she's a cutie. She's like 90% cheeks. When she was born, even the nurses in the hospital were like, finally a baby born with cheeks. So um yeah, it's been a trip, man. Um, and people always do like voices for their babies, like when they speak with them, because it's all just gooing and guying. So my baby's very ghetto. I'm warning y'all right now. She's very hood. Um, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I thought that was fun. Yeah, that's see why I had trouble remembering the name. Um, but I've seen that one advertised, and I heard it was really good, and I've been meaning to catch it. It's on my Cage to-do list. Cage is one of those where it's like you could probably spend a year just doing Cage movies. Cage match, as it were. Well, anyways, I've rambled enough about me and the prologue to this whole movie and why I'm watching it. Let's go ahead and press play on this. Like I said, I'm watching my DVD version. I apologize. I prefer if you guys could stream along, but I'll try to do theater of the mind for you. Um, Play. Are we playing? Are we playing? I ain't playing, man. Oh, oh, oh. So hard trying to go around the. Oh, no wonder I'm using the Netflix or the Fire Stick remote. That's not going to work. No. Oh, did it work? 20th Century Fox logo is up and play. There we go. 20th Century Fox. My buddy Hobbs was talking about how he loves this movie as well, and he said he thought it would go well with My Cousin Vinny as a double feature. One of the things I actually think is interesting about this is I think it works really well with Evil Dead 2. Um, Sam Raimi and the Coen brothers were frequent collaborators and friends, and they were trying to like outdo each other and try to go crazy with the camera work and stuff. So a lot of the like way the camera moves and the way the story is told at breakneck speeds with little montages and quick cuts and stuff, a lot of it is very Evil Dead 2-ish to me. But I believe the Coen brothers, they wanted to do some sort of like Preston Sturges type movie or Bringing Up Baby, like old school throwback kind of. They did the same thing with what's it called? Intolerable Cruelty, I think it was called, with Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Um, well, even Oh Brother We're Out There is very, throwback to, something like Grapes of Wrath or whatever. Um, let's see here. Thank you, Russ. I'm doing better, Daddy, but I'm always striving to get better. Oh, he's the son of a plumber. He's the American dream, that man. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Casey. Everybody's saying hi to Casey. Sean, welcome, buddy. Hey, what's up? You were one of the people when I dropped in the other, I don't know, a week or two ago, and I watched some of Larry's, I don't know what you would want to call it, a spin-off show from Into House or his solo project. Sometimes a band has like the groups go to a solo project. So I dropped in and saw Larry and Sean, and I believe Texas Russell was there, and maybe Wilkie. Corey's a cool guy. I love that guy. So it was a cool crew, and I dropped in and when I saw Sean, and they were all happy to see me. I was like, I gotta give Sean some of his late night entertainment back. So it's good to see you, my friend. Cinephile Sanity TV. He has a similar show to mine, but slightly different. So they work well as a pair. So if you're not familiar with Sean, be sure to check him out. Into House coming back too. I don't know. I've talked to my friend Larry. He much like much like Patrick, he checked in on me several times. He knew I was moving to the Tampa area. The only people that knew about my situation with becoming a father late in life and just all that went with it and everything. Um, we the only people I had talked to about it were Pugwall and Horror Cat Dad. And Larry's been very cool about messaging me. Like the hurricane hit right after I got down here. I've been through two hurricanes. I'm one of the only people who's ever lived through two polar vortexes and two hurricanes. It's like -50 or winds blowing the roof of the house next door to us off, which actually happened. It was kind of crazy. So I don't know. Life's a trip, man. But I don't know. I'm gonna talk with Larry and see what he's doing. I know that he's been like I say, doing that solo project. Maybe I'll jump in and appear on that sometime. Maybe he and I'll have in the house on different nights. You never can tell. There's lots of options. I gotta see what's up with um Rob's vintage video. I gotta see what's up with him. I got all sorts of people to check on. But it's nice to see all of you in the chat that have popped up, so I know that you're okay. Classic friends, man, and the professor in Texas, and Sean, all y'all, the Hobbs, and Mr. Bones. I gotta get back together with Mr. Bones too. So now that I'm settled in, and we've had the baby, and we got her past that first month of being alive. What is today, the 22nd? So 2 days ago, she was a month old. So that first month, basically just feed them, burp them, shit them, all of it. But I've learned so much about being a father. Did you know you can't Febreze a baby? I didn't know that. Apparently, they need bathing. It's all a learning experience for me, man. Um, well, anyways, in the movie that I'm not watching, H.I. McDunnough is going through the thing where he keeps checking into the prison. He's being booked, and the woman who takes his mugshot every time is this kind of pretty police officer. And every time he meets her, he falls more and more in love with her. And eventually, one of the times he comes in for his fingerprinting and everything, he realizes that she's crying, and her fiance left her. So he proposes, and the two of them get hitched and start the process of starting a family. So just now, Ed is proposing to Hi. He's putting the ring on her finger. Um, I love the part where here in the beginning where we see him and his prison group, and we see like a support group for men. And the one guy says, the doctor asks one of the dudes, why is it you feel like a woman trapped in a man's body? And they cut to like this big, tough looking, bald black dude who's just sitting there all swole. He's like, sometimes I get the menstrual cramps real hard. So, uh, see, almost as funny when I do it. I love this movie. It's so many quotable lines. Um, he's right now he's still in prison, but he's daydreaming about what his future could be. Going straight and moving in with Edwina. I'm sorry. Um, we'll discuss some of the themes and meanings of this movie. It's when it first came out, it struggled between being very popular and critically panned. A lot of people liked Blood Simple, which was the Coen's first film, and then when they did this one, people thought it was a little all over the place. Is it surreal? Is it realism? Um, People like Edgar Wright say it's their favorite movie of all time because it's like a living Looney Tunes cartoon. It's so fast paced and breakneck, and you can even see in some of his work, the way the camera moves and all that. Um, let's see here. Night Owl have a gremlin? I do. I have three of them. I have an 8-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter, and now I have a 1-month-old baby. So just yeah, it's weird to go from traipsing around weird haunted woods and then listening for ghosts, and then now I'm like listening to make sure a baby isn't crying in the other room or whatever. Um, but I often call them gremlins as well. So I think of you when I do that. It's like, not to steal your moniker, but that's a perfect way to describe it. They'll be sitting in the living room and you'll go in the other room and do something and come back. And then next thing you know, they're like hanging from the chandelier or something. It's like, how'd you get up there? Why are you wearing a trench coat? um, let's see. He sprinkles water on someone after midnight, Professor, right? Is tummy time? Did I miss somebody asking about tummy time? Oh, don't forget tummy time. Casey knows. Casey knows. um, Hobbs tummy time. Well, it's a double. most babies, they like to, they lay on their back at first. So when you eventually you have to kind of roll them over, and after they can hold their head up or turn their head out of the way, you can lay them on their tummy and see if they'll roll themselves back over or see if they'll crawl. But I like to double tummy time. You lay down, you put the baby on their tummy on you, and then she just kind of like just figures it all out, man. So it's been a weird ride becoming a father. It's so strange feeding someone and then having to stop every 5 minutes and burp them. As far as taking care of people in my life goes, I've never had to do that, thank God. Um, Quiz Hot Shots. Nick Cage movie being Nick Cage. Vampire's Kiss, Matchstick Men, or Face Off. Um, I don't know. There's so many. Did he win the Oscar, or was he just nominated for Leaving Las Vegas? Um, Face Off is pretty damn Nick Cage. Like when I think of how Nick Cage probably is to hang out with in real life, Face Off. I could eat a peach out for hours, or whatever he says. So now, Hi and Edwina have gotten married, and they're discovering that she's infertile. Some of the dialogue in this, it's a rocky place where his seed could find no purchase. Um, some of the dialogue and the things he says is so weirdly quotable for being like this, hillbilly criminal. So now here they're trying to adopt, but because he's a multiple time felon, it's kind of hard for them to get a baby. Um, yeah, out of those three, I'm gonna go with Face Off. Although Matchstick Men is underrated. I enjoy a good a con game movie or whatever. I usually call them like the Sting type movies. Not to be confused with Sting the wrestler or Sting the musician or Sting that movie about bees. I think it's um that's what I'm trying to find out. Hobbs, what's tummy time? She says Vampire's Kiss for show. Is that the one where he ate a live bug? I remember that was like one of the things that when he first started getting the legend of being Nicolas Cage, like one time in a damn movie, he ate a bug. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. She's too young for tummy time, but too soon. Yeah, she sometimes when we're just starting to do it, she's done it 2 or 3 times. But like I say, if you lay her, you hold her like this, but you lay down, it's a default tummy time because of gravity. I thought something entirely different, right? Jamie Hart, girl. It's nice to see you, Jamie. I hope you're doing well. Jamie, a longtime friend of the show, always cool when she pops in. Welcome. Jamie, see, everybody loves Jamie. Hey guys. Jamie says Vampire's Kiss rules. See, there's like I said, it's a classic. It's just Cage, it's early Cage being Cage. Um, yes, it was from that film. Hobbs knows. Uh, my second gremlin had reflux as a baby, so after feeding him, he went all Reagan on me, so that was fun. I've been lucky. This baby, by all accounts, like I say, I'm not familiar with babies, but by all accounts, my baby's a really good one. Like she doesn't cry that much. I mean, we're only a month in, but she frequently will just like stare at me with like a confused look, like, "So you're dad, huh?" Um, but every now and then she'll spit up, and then she does that like weird baby thing after she spits up, where she's drunk looking. Like, so I always enjoy that. It's like she's high off the formula, man. Um, Professor, how many gremlins do you have? Out of curiosity. Well, hello, Jamie, from Ben Grimm, Hobbs Horse. You know what I mean? Everybody loves Jamie Hart. Um, I miss those yes. I still have that spork in honor of you, Don. Oh, you're the sporking best friend. So here we've learned about the the Arizona quintuplets, uh, and then so the movie has been on now for a good like 10 minutes, and we've just got the credits going. Um, that's kind of the beauty of this. It does like a long intro. So here's the yodeling and the Raising Arizona logo. We've already had the famous shot of the two of them sitting in their lawn chairs, enjoying the Arizona sun, the salad days, as it were. Um, didn't Casey only have 3 more movies left before retirement? I don't know what his deal is because at one point he had threatened to retire before, but then he ran into that whole bankruptcy issue. Like I don't know, he's buying castles by the 12 pack or something. Oh, that those dinosaur bones, just throw them in the closet. So at one point, I think he had a whole bunch of money issues, and he had to do more movies to get himself out of the money issues, which happens a lot. Kevin Bacon went through that. Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp's like, when can we make another Pirates movie? Um, uh, Oh, dang, Professor, talking about the Reagan. Yeah, apparently my son, my stepson, when he was born, he had issues with he was lactose intolerant or something, so the formula made him sick, and they had to switch like a soy one or something like that. And I believe he was a projectile vomiter as well. Yes, the code word, Ben Grimm. Pre-watch daddy upgraded to baby daddy, right? I know. It's this part here where Nicolas Cage has now gone to break in and steal the one of the Arizona quintuplets. The plot of the movie is that this young couple can't have kids, and they find a family that has too many. They even say the family who had quintuplets say we have more than we can handle, so they decide they're going to go take one of them. And that's one of the funny gags is they're Harry, Barry, Larry, Gary, and Nathan Jr. It's like, how'd you like to be quintuplets and just be Nathan Jr.? It's like, I like Nathan Jr. the best. So he's in the crib or the nursery right now, and they do kind of this like Lindbergh baby kidnapping thing where he puts the ladder up there and he climbs in, and he's up here acting the fool with all these babies. And they're crawling all over the place. At one point, he even goes out and tells her, I couldn't take it. They were everywhere. They were crawling on me, and it was like a nightmare for him. Um, let's see here. I'm supposed to say Lele. Hello, Jamie. Code word is movie theater. Oh, that's right. Jamie sees everything in the theater. Jamie, did you see this in the theater? I don't know. That's a good question. Fluffer Nutter is my code. Oh, Spirits and Screams. Karen, nice to see you. Welcome back. And I chat. Gremlins are the best. Congrats, man. Thank you. Yes, it's all been a weird, strange change for me, but this movie kind of gets at the whole thing with it all. You know, this movie has a lot of themes in it, but I think probably the main theme that I always took from it, even from first viewing, is how even like the most hardened criminal, literally a demon at one point, just feels the feeling of nurturing and caring for another small thing. It's for the first, half of my life, that was not something that was, I was very concerned with myself, and we had an overpopulation problem. I'm not trying to contribute to that. All the rhetoric, and I found myself going through male menopause. Like, oh, I kind of feel like I'd wished I'd had kids, but I never did. And now it's a little too late for me. So when I had met my future wife here, she kind of having the family time together and spending time with the boy and throwing football with him and taking the girl to fly a kite and just all of it. It was like sorry for treating him like the way Homer Simpson does. I frequently call him boy and girl. Um, and there's something about it fulfilling and hope for the future and all that stuff. Corny parents talk, but I don't know. It's an emotion you can't really describe to people. Um, but much as the way there's many movies made about love, like romance love, and then there's many movies made about like the love of friendship. Like I always enjoy a good movie that's basically a love story about being friends. This is a movie that's kind of a love story about being a parent, the weird feeling of like nurturing and being in charge of this thing. And even me, you see, like going to the like holding the baby position. Um, so that's one of the reasons this film has been on my mind so much. Plus, there's two gremlins. They're my pride and joy. They starting to get into spooky stuff, so they chip off the old crazy nutball. Yeah, yeah. The other day I was watching on Shudder. I think it was 101 best horror movie moments or some nonsense like that. And my son came in while I was sitting there with him and plopped down. He saw clips of The Exorcist and he was looking at it and he's like, "Is this the type of stuff you watch?" And I said, "Yeah, it's more for grown-ups." And he's like, "It's really cool." But then when I showed him the movie Gremlins about a week or two ago, he got a little scared. So I was teasing him. I was like, "Oh, you're a fraidy cat." But I also had to explain to both kids, like, this is just a story that somebody told, and they had to set a camera down, and all these people had to act for it. They know I like to make videos and things, so they get the basic idea. But the boogeyman's eternal. So congratulations, Professor. I hope you have some spooky monsters loving kids too. Uh, let's see here. Okay, everybody's saying hi to Karen. Learning a lot about tummy time and babies tonight, right? That's what I mean. I was so used to being like, I don't know, a proud bachelor. Can someone be a proud bachelor? Um, I liked that I didn't have anybody to answer to. I didn't have any place to be. It's never like, oh, you got to be at my sister's on Thursday for the kids to have a birthday party with their cousin or whatever. Like all of that was just like, it's not my scene, man. I like freewheeling rock and roll lifestyle. And then just I don't know, a hole in my soul sort of slowly developed. And when I found myself more and more feeling fulfilled by having a family and you know explaining to the kids. The other day I had to explain to them about littering. One of them threw something on the ground. I was like, hey, and give them a good talk about how somebody else has to pick that up or that's going to stay there forever, and if everybody did that, the world would be a mess. And then about a couple hours later I heard her tell somebody, hey, don't litter. Like, hey, I'm making a difference in the world one person at a time. So just all of that, I don't know, that's part of the reason with this movie. She As soon as he hands her the baby, he just took Nathan Jr. He thinks nobody can know because they're quintuplets. He came down to the car and he handed Holly Hunter the baby, and she just started crying immediately. She's just so happy. And then even Cage here, like me and Professor were just talking about with the horror movies. Uh, High turns to his wife and he's like, "Look at his eyes. He's got a little outlaw in him." People like to, you know, I don't know how to project onto their children or whatever, like raise another little miniature version of them. There's something about it that's like just feels special and crazy. And it's like impossible to describe. I'm sure there's a word in a foreign language for it that I don't know. Um, Everyone is here for Don's comeback. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I was so happy. I've been meaning to get together with you guys for a while, but like I say, with kids in school and running around and all that everything else going on with the baby and stuff, finally to get settled into a daily routine and carve out a time when I can start doing these. And I felt bad. I even stepped on the toes a little bit of Hobbs' anniversary, like I said. So please be sure to check out the 10th anniversary special over at Hobbs Horror, as well as all of his fine content. It's a learning stream. Love this for us. I know. I love this for us too. Lamonia, me and you need to have a talk. My 6-year-old daughter the other day said, Konya. I wanted to blame you, but it's all over the place. It was like Haktua. When you introduced me to the Haktua girl, I was like, where does she find this? And then the Haktua girl, like, I don't know. At one point I was expecting her to be like Trump's running mate. Um, well, Parenthood looks great on you, Don. Welcome to the pack. Thank you, thank you. It's a weird, wild ride, but it's one I'm looking forward to. The time bonding with my new family, and then the addition to our family, and all of it has been it's been very different for me. But I kind of love every second of it. It's hard to explain how much something new can be so fun and important to me. I saw Raising Arizona at the theater and the drive-in. Of course she did. Daps. That's what I'm talking about. I wish I had a spore candy to lift up. Jamie sees everything at the theaters. I remember the first time I saw it was on VHS. I believe this was '87, so it probably came out on VHS around '88, I bet. And it was such a weird, bizarre movie. But even then, I found it kind of charming and cute. And this was before Cage became the force of nature that is Nicolas Cage. They've just brought their baby back to their trailer, and he's explaining to her, showing the baby, this is where we do our eating. This is the TV, only 4 hours a day. Um, and he's just kind of like walking around the house, and here's where they take the family picture, and everybody looks kind of like, Um, I knew it. Yeah, we all knew Jamie saw this in the theater. Yeah. Like I said, I saw this first on VHS, and then it was a cable classic. It was frequently on, whatever, HBO or Cinemax or something, and then you would see it later on TBS in the middle of the night and stuff. Um, it's 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 so bizarre because how do you make a charming movie about a pair of kidnappers? Like so many people in this movie are just absolutely awful human beings in the big picture of life, but there's so many of them that are lovable and fun. Even the moron dude that Nicolas Cage works with, Glenn, I think it is. You can't have a baby because there's something wrong with his semen. You know what I mean? So that guy. Does the Pope wear a funny hat? Well, yeah, Glenn. I guess it is kind of funny. Um, it was my mom's favorite activity to do as a family. LOL. Yeah, I always liked the theater because it was one of those things. Yeah, when you got old enough, they would drop you off at the movie theater. So from I don't know age 12 maybe, I started just going to the movies. It was either the movies or the mall. The mall always felt so like cliche. Let's go to the mall and just hang out. It's like at least for the movies, as you saw something, you felt like you had a little adventure, ate popcorn. I got the love for my movies from my dad, Jamie. Yeah, the love for my movies came from my mom. Um, I remember at a very young age, she started letting me watch stuff that I probably shouldn't see. She was always, cool with me watching, Escape from New York is one of the first movies I remember like sitting down and watching it in the middle of the night in the dark by myself, like just, uh, The Warriors, all these old school movies that used to be on cable and stuff late at night. And she would encourage me to watch them. She would say, "Oh, Rosemary's Baby, this is a good one." Um, my dad always liked movies, but they were just something else to hang out with us and watch. But yeah, she sort of had a love for them. And then she was the one that would always go to the video store and bring back 3 fresh VHSs to have on the top of the VCR sitting on the TV there. And what do you got in rotation? It's like, oh, we got Die Hard. And so here, John Goodman and oh, good. What's his name? Oh, I'm gonna draw a blank on his name. What the heck is it? I'm mad. I forgot it. William Forsythe. Why am I forgetting his name? How dare I? Um, William Forsythe and John Goodman have just broke out of prison, and they're doing their hair in the big ducktail with the what do you call it? Pomade or a Brill cream. And that's later on how Randall Tex Cobb finds him. He tracks down the Brill cream. So yeah, the plot is now oh, now that baby's on his tummy. I think they've had their babies for these kids look like at least 3 4 months. Like they're big. When my daughter came out, she was so tiny. Like I say, the first month, you're just trying to feed her. She's already put on like 3 pounds, something like that, just in the month we've had her. Um, but like I say, most of that's cheeks. Um, exactly, Don. That was me too. Best thing I ever did. It's a wild ride. Yes, it's all it. I hate to say it's like life changing because you see those dorky movies where like, oh, now I have a reason to live, or now I have a reason to purpose or something. It's like it wasn't totally that. It just the feeling of like the having to be, this little thing can't feed itself or take care of itself. You got to do it. You're in charge of another person living. And I think that sort of filled the hole that was left by like not having to take care of people anymore. It's like now I'm taking a little care of a tiny one and watching her grow is amazing. And just all of it's like, look at this outfit she has on. Ooh, and people want to see the baby. As soon as we had the baby, everybody's like, let me see the baby. So, and that's one of the things that this movie, tying it all back to Raising Arizona. Um, they the movie itself, even the most hardened criminal, like I said, a demon at one point, all these people are just touched by like parenting. Like once they look this baby in the eyes, they just fall in love. So there becomes this mad scramble to like have possession of this baby. um let's see here, Karen, you're not old enough to have kids yet, right? um I have only one gremlin. He's 22 now. I wanted to have more, but I almost died having him. So the doctor said it wasn't a good idea. I call him Bud and a flower bud. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I call my son Buddy, but not like that. Um, uh, yeah, I was unaware. I'm a dummy. I was under the impression that the more children women had, the easier it would be for them. I'm an old pro at this. And it's the other way around. The more kids they have, the worse it gets on them. So my poor wife had to go through so much with the delivery and all of it. It was, but it was, I was there when she was born. I cut the umbilical cord. That's a strange ass feeling when a doctor's like, here, cut this thing, like do minor surgery real fast. So just from the day she arrived has been a wild trip. As in, yes. Well, Jamie, knowing the little bit I know about you and how much you love people in your life and what an awesome woman you are, your son's lucky to have you. Man, no babies yet for Hobbs. Maybe one day. Old Hobbs may be a daddy one day. Yeah, that's kind of how I was. I'd gotten into my 40s and I felt like, well, I don't know. I think having a baby has passed me by. And then because of the situation with my wife being a widow and our 2 children, needing a male role model in their life, right away they took to me, and it just felt like, I don't know, to have a little one look at me and be like, how are you doing that? I'm going to do it that way. My son has to have a haircut like mine. He's like, will you cut my hair like yours? Stop it. Stop it. God bless. Uh, I love that bud. Yeah, exactly. That's sweet. Hobbs, look at Don having kids at 85. It's never too late, but right? Seriously. Daddy Hobbs. Hobbs Daddy. Um, thank goodness you're a night owl, Don, because baby gremlins sure do like to stay up late. Yeah, right? That's the thing last night I was like, "Well, I'll catch the 3 a.m. feeding for her since I'll be awake." And she said, "That little rascal stayed awake till 6 a.m. or slept till 6 a.m." And I was like, "Do I wake her up and feed her? Do I let her sleep? It's the first time she slept all night. She's normally up hanging out with me, sitting here watching crazy, insane movies." She's watched Evil Dead 2 already. I have video of her watching the "I'll swallow your soul" scene, and she's just sitting there wide awake, like, loving it, trying to figure it all out. Um, she's been watching, well, through Halloween. I watched a handful of classics, stuff that me and the little lady would like to watch together, and I made her watch, the Jeff Goldblum and The Fly and stuff, and the baby would wake up and just sit there and watch The Fly. No, never crying, just fascinated. What in the hell am I looking at? So yeah, she's been a night owl movie watcher with me, and it's been a fun ride. It's nice to have company. Wait, I never thought anything could be better than a puppy, but I was wrong. Daddy Hobbs, I can imagine. I like Hobbs Daddy. I don't know, it sounds gangster. So here we see Randall text Cobb, and he's got this bizarre thing where he's got these like baby booties, like the bronze baby booties hanging off his hip. And there's the weird thing where he and Nicolas Cage have the same tattoo. So there's some discussion of like, is the Randall text Cobb character some sort of like alternate version of Nicolas Cage, or is it like um, it shows how similar they are. I always called that tattoo Woody Woodpecker, but apparently it's like some auto parts store um, logo, like a Roadrunner type deal. I don't know. Hobbs, I see you as a dad. You'd be great at it. Oh, the look at Cody Rhodes. There you go. Just don't show anyone the dwarf movie and you'll be all right, Hobbs. He calls me Copter Mom. Someday he'll get it's Hobbs Horror Jr. Oh, see. Coin, yes, LML. Behind. Hi, Karen. Welcome. I cannot be held responsible. I actually, my first thought is it was you, and then I was like, you know what? I can't put that on her. But the people in my home are very familiar with Night Owl Movie Talk. They've caught some shows of mine before. At one point, they stopped in to watch me watching something on Hobbs Horror. I don't know if it was Chrome Skull or what, but one of the overly gory films I've watched with my friend Hobbs Horror, my friend Bones. See, I be mixing you guys up. You got that FTR thing. Man, you're killing me. Um, Not too late for her to get a cabinet seat. The Haktua girl, for sure. Um, Order a bucket meal from KFC, Don. You're guaranteed at least 10 sporks in that, right? Sometimes when I go to Taco Bell, if I go inside, I'll grab a handful of the sauces and I'll look over and they'll see if they have sporks or forks. If they have sporks, I snag a couple. Jen's reviews from the grave. Congratulations, Don. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so many folks told me congratulations. Like, I didn't have to do anything. I mean, I participated in the fun part, and then the rest of it was just like acting like I'm carrying the load. It's like, no, no, she did all the work. I just cheered her on. If I ever get back out to sea, my semen will be strong like Don. Mine were just long overdue. They've been sitting in a waiting room for so long. I was afraid that it was like Beetlejuice. They're all just sitting there holding a long tag, just waiting to come out. Hello, Parts Unknown. Yes, hello, Parts Unknown. Jim, Russell, why did you change your name to Parts? I'm assuming Unknown. I saw earlier that you were trying to change it, but YouTube was making you wait a month. Um, enjoy your girl's childhood, Don. They can be rather naughty in their teens, right? Like I say, my son's 8, and every now and then you'll see him testing the boundaries of my patience. He decided the other day he was allowed to use scissors. I was like, no, no, you're not. You don't just get to make up the stuff you do around here. Uh, we had a hurricane here, and after that there was all this yard cleanup, and there was like a pile of leaves and sticks and stuff that had fallen out of trees out in front of the yard. And my son and his friends were looking for a lighter so they could have a campfire. I was like, guys. So I had to give them all a talk about being arsonists and how playing with fire is bad. It's like the end of a G.I. Joe cartoon over here. 17 likes. Oh, thank you, Russell. I appreciate that. I appreciate every one of you and your likes. It's nice of you to drop by and make sure that I am, in fact, dead and I haven't been replaced. I thought about, trying to find somebody more handsome and talented to do this show, but I guess you're going to have to stick with my weird face. I might adopt a ferret, so that's exciting. That is exciting. Put it in a stroller, take it for a ride. Nice marmot. My biggest fear is something bad happening to my gremlins. My second fear is me messing up and making them as messed up as me. But so far, they're coming along okay. Yeah, the weird navigation of the things that scarred you during your life, and then trying to make sure that they don't go that way, or the things that you don't like about yourself that you wish you could change. And it's like, let me see if I can rewrite the programming in this new model here. It's all very odd. Um, but Professor, I've one of the things I remembered about you, and I always liked, is your love of B movies and boobs and all the great things that guys love. But then your big heart and your affection for your gremlins, and always, you know, as I say, I've felt more connected to you than ever, my friend. Um, Ferrets need mom's pneumonia, right? Somebody got to take care of them. Lay had two albino here. Oh, you did, Russell. Albino ferrets. That's interesting. I didn't know they even came in that color. Speaking of color, my son apparently doesn't grasp the concept of race, which I kind of love. And after he brought the baby home, he said with a straight face and completely sincere, "Another white baby?" I don't know. I told him we ordered a black one, but yeah, they screwed up. I might have some kids out there. Who knows? Right? That's what I always worried about. Um, no, I grew up in the 80s. So because of AIDS and the safe sex push and all these songs about condoms and infomercials about condoms and stuff, I was like, no, I'm strong proponent of the plastic bag or the rubber bag for me. But accidents happen. Sorry if you're watching, Mom. You're awesome, Don. I'm so happy for you. Thank you, Mayan. I appreciate it a lot. A lot of people have been very friendly and encouraging about it all. This is the first time the internet has really heard about this. I haven't been on any other social media sites pouring my heart out. So I thought I would have to start with you guys first. Um, Here's the scene where the John Goodman and William Forsythe are eating breakfast. And he says, "These sure are some good cereal flakes, Miss McDunnough," as if she made them. And she throws them out for the day so the respectable friends can come over. Francis McDormand and old buddy. Let's see here. Ben's seeding the world with Grimm's, right? Grimm fairy tales. I'm grateful I've desensitized myself to so many gory movies. It sure did help prepare myself for both cesarean births. Yeah, yeah. When that whole thing happened, that was a wild trip. We had a very good doctor that we liked. The OBGYN we had was very trustworthy. She's very like chill and very calm, lots of homeopathic remedies. And the voice never went above this tone. So at one point she was delivering the baby and she's like, um, "Oh, and the cord is wrapped around her neck, isn't it, you little stinker?" And she undid it and stuff. I'm like on the inside trying not to like stare down the barrel of what's going on down there, but at the same time, I'm like, is everything okay? So yeah, the bloodiness of it all and the blue baby that then suddenly de-purples and becomes white baby colored. I don't know. It was all a trip, bro. Um, the professor is amazing for sure and extremely talented. Yeah, the professor's like I say, one of my favorite people on here. All of you guys are. The chat grew right here. With I see so many of the people I love and appreciate and have popped in and have come and gone and all this. Like I say, some of my favorite friends are here. You found out before Facebook or Instagram or any of those other folks, so I'll let them know later on. Saw a girl singer in a music video that had a black shirt with "goth as fuck" on it. Oh, I I appreciate her honesty. Um, I'd wear that shirt, Chuck. Oh, there they are with the Chuck. No flips, just fists. Yeah, see the FTR thing. My brain flip flops Hobbs and Bones all the time. It's a miracle I've never called Bones Hobbs during one of his streams. Oh, we're coming up to one of my favorite parts. They're Frances McDormand and her husband have come over to see the new baby, and they have to talk about all the shots she's got to get and who's his pediatrician and all this stuff, and you just see the weight of like the bureaucracy of fatherhood kind of weigh down Nicolas Cage. Like it was all fun when it was just playing with this little cute baby, but now there's all this extra crap. What do you mean I gotta go get a birth certificate and all that? Um, Yeah, like the when you have the baby, um we were out within like 2 days of the hospital. We had her back home within like a day and a half or something. But that day and a half was spent with all this like bureaucracy of social security cards and making sure the baby's Medicare is all taken care of, and all Medicaid or whatever is all taken care of and shit. Just all of it. It was like, God damn, whatever happened to let's just be happy we have this baby and me passing out cigars and whatnot. Like I was saying, here's one of my favorite parts. The friends show up to come see the new baby, and they bring all their kids with them. And their kids are the type of kids that people are afraid of having, where they're just insane animals. And at one point, he talks about like his boy Malachi or whatever, and what a good he can write. He's good. And they cut over to him writing on the wall, and he wrote "fart" in big letters. Makes me laugh every time. Just that kid's dopey looking face with like stuff all over. He's filthy. His clothes are like don't fit right. Um, Let me see here. I had roommates whose parents didn't want her to live with me because I had too many black clothes. Yeah, the majority of my clothes are black. I wanted to find a high looking outfit. Well, all my outfits are high looking, but one that looked like Nicolas Cage in this movie. So this is the closest thing I had to a Hawaiian shirt. So I sympathize. I wear a lot of black myself. Drag Me to Hell 2 film is going to be a prequel in 2005. Interesting. Probably about the woman who did the curse, I would imagine. I don't know. Love that movie, Russell. Yeah, I love me some Drag Me to Hell. Kids are too cute. You never know what they will say, right? My son's birthday party, a friend of the family brought her daughter, and her daughter brought her girlfriend with her. Her daughter's a teenager and has a girlfriend. So none of us were babysitting him. And apparently my son said, "Oh, hey, it's so nice of you to come to my birthday. Oh, you're still a lesbian? That's cool." So yeah, sometimes they say things that are cringe, but then you get to have a good laugh when no one's around. Ginger. Nice to see you, buddy. That is the best beard on the internet right there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Our friend Ginger Ninja Movie Reviews. So, all these people I shout out, if you're listening to the podcast or some other version of this, be sure to check all these folks out there. All wonderful, fine people who make great content. Oh, excuse me. And forgot about the nonstop talking thing of doing these. So, if at any point I lose my voice or I get extra like gravelly voiced and sound like Tom Waits, that's just a bonus. Let's see here, Mr. President. It's been way too long. Yeah, exactly. I'd said according to YouTube, I've been gone for 4 months since the last time I did a stream. Well, might be less than that, depending on the last time I did one with Bones. Ninja. Prepping for the Substance Queen May? Yeah, I kind of want to see the Substance. I hadn't heard about it till recently, and I was like, yeah, pretty cool. It looks interesting to me. Yes, Ginger, I was banned from looking at the trailer. Um, you kids remember Etch a Sketch? The fuck, I'm old. Yeah, I remember Etch a Sketch. I still even make that joke, and people look at me all confused. Like the sometimes you just got to shake up the Etch a Sketch and start over. The other day I was talking about the new president's pick for the Surgeon General, and I thought it might be the whoever the current record holder for Operation the game is. People are like, "What's Operation?" No idea what that is. See, good day, Ninja the Brooker. I'm assuming that's Bruce. I'm at work, but I'll take a whiskey and a cigar, please. Right? Cheers, my friend. The Substance was funny and good. Oh, I would like to see the Substance. I've tried a few, but that one sounds fun to me. Um, I'll stay. I'll still say that to my lesbian friends, right? Oh, you're still a lesbian? That's cool. Hey, cool. Love lesbians. Shout out to the ladies loving ladies community. You're doing fine work, all of you. I'm not gonna lie. I take a ground amount of pride when my gremlins make a really, really inappropriate joke that Bob would make. Everyone else, not so much, right? Um, uh, my daughter's been caught on to my pun sense of humor. So sometimes she'll throw a pun and then she'll stop and go, "Get it? Leave me alone," and like hold up a leaf or something. And it's like this one's it's a struggle constantly to figure out which one I love more when they say something terrible. Let's see here. You've been gone so long, you even know Ginger is the president of Australia? I didn't know he was the president of Australia. I didn't know Australia had a president. It- I'm not familiar with Australian politics. I thought they had like a prime minister or something. Isn't Crocodile Dundee the prime minister there? I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. Shout out to Paul Hogan. Um, so, anyways, in the movie, uh, that I'm supposed to be commenting on, Glenn is explaining to Nicolas Cage here that the way they keep their marriage fresh, you get kind of bored in these single monogamous relationships, so you got to swing a little bit. Talking about sex, boy. What the hell are you talking about? Talking about L'Amour. Talking about me and Dot are swingers, as in to swing. I'm talking about wife swapping. Does the Pope wear a funny hat? Yeah, Glenn, I guess it is kind of funny. Um, One of the things about this movie that I love is the dry comedy of it. It's both a living like Looney Tunes cartoon, but then a lot of like Nicolas Cage's lines and a bunch of other people's lines are, well, like all Coen Brothers movies, they're not delivered like hammy or heavy. They're delivered very calm. So you almost don't even realize they're jokes until you see it a second or third time. Where are we? Professor says, I haven't seen The Substance, but I want to. Seen Terrifier 3 now, and it's amazing. Yeah, I've been looking for Terrifier 3. I'll probably try to catch it around Christmas time. The way the Terrifier movies have been going, they'll probably be on Tubi. Is it already on Tubi or Prime? I wouldn't be surprised. He's the Pro Minister, but I call him the President. Oh, fair enough. They lost the war with emus and now are under the rule of their emu overlords. Oh, no. I have been gone for a long time. Did they ever make that Crocodile Dundee thing with Danny McBride, or was that a fever dream? I do remember saying they were going to do that, but I never followed up on it. That's one of those you'll be like flipping through Max, and you're like, oh yeah, that Crocodile Dundee movie. I forgot they remade Color Purple the other day. I was searching for something to watch. I was like, they did? Prime Minister. Yeah, I got you, man. Pro's way easier to spell than Prime. Oh no, way, Ben. That was just a Super Bowl commercial. Oh, okay, okay. See, the Danny McBride, he's a rascal. Keep it on the low. Had to check the door, make sure Jim wasn't here. He be lurking. Um, so here's they're driving home after Nicolas Cage has punched out his boss at work or whatever. He goes into the store and he puts a pair of pantyhose over his head, grabs a Huggies, and he says the famous line, uh, I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got. And then the crazy yodeling outlaw running scene. As I was saying earlier, a lot of this reminds me of Evil Dead 2, like the way the camera moves, the push-ins, it'd be a crazy double feature. But oh, uh, she's telling the story of the big bad wolf. The things you do to entertain children. Here's a question for you guys. My wife caught me singing this song the other day about to the baby about there wasn't a woman who swallowed a fly, perhaps she'll die. And then she swallowed a spider to catch the fly, and wriggled and tickled inside her, all that stuff. So I was doing that, and she's like, "That is the most morbid, sad thing I've ever heard." And I was like, "Oh, I think most people know that." She's like, "I've never heard of it." So if you're familiar with the old lady who swallowed the fly, or if you ever have sung that, or familiar with it, we used to sing it in like school when I was a little kid. Let me know. Maybe that's how I turned out goth. Um, I just noticed you have fart underneath your name. That's nice, right? I put that there, and I thought no one's going to get that joke, and they're going to be like, "Huh?" Um, Pop quiz, Hop Shop. Best Cohen flick: Raising Arizona, The Big Lebowski, Fargo, or No Country for Old Men. Out of all those, I'm partial to The Big Lebowski, but I think that this is a perfect time to review the work of the Coen brothers. Let's go with directors Joel Cohen. Actually, let's just do it this way. Let's go Coen Brothers films. Oh, the Coen brothers. Yeah, they have their own Wikipedia page because sometimes they take turns directing. One will direct, and then the other one will edit and write. One will, work with the actors, and one will work with the camera. So they're keeping track of their filmography is relatively confusing and rough. All right, they started off in 1984 with Blood Simple, 87 Raising Arizona, 1990, Miller's Crossing. If you haven't seen that, that's absolutely fabulous. That's like this gangster kind of tough guy, old school, like, James Cagney movie, but it's like, really cool and moody. Gabriel Byrne's awesome in it. Barton Fink, weird movie. It's a wrestling picture. That's a weird one, but that's one of those, like, most Coen brother movies, which is one of their problems and one of their greatest assets. You have to watch them like two, maybe three or four times before they're really good. The first time I saw Big Lebowski, I didn't particularly care for it. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't really like it. I thought it ended weird. And then when I watched it the second time, the third time, people started saying quotes. After a while, it's just like the Big Lebowski is like a cornerstone of my life somehow. The Hudsucker Proxy, that's another one that holds up the picture of a circle and he goes, "It's for kids." That's a funny movie about like big business and all sorts of like making it in the city and all these other things, but mainly the dialogue in that and the way it's the people talk. In particular Jennifer Jason Leigh with the way she talks like this. See. And then in '96 they did Fargo, another one. The first time I saw it, didn't particularly care for it. Thought it was interesting but rewatchable. And then after about the fourth or fifth time of seeing it, now I love it. What, are you okay, Sheriff? Did you find a clue? No, I think I'm gonna barf. And then they followed up Fargo with Big Lebowski. And then 2000, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 2001, The Man Who Wasn't There. That's a weird one that I enjoy. Most people don't. It's black and white. And it's got Billy Bob Thornton in it. It's kind of this bizarre, like, thinky movie. Um, Intolerable Cruelty, I didn't like that one. Still don't like it. Find it kind of heavy-handed and corny. I think out of all their movies, it's probably my least favorite. Oh, I take that back. Lady Killers is my least favorite of theirs. The Tom Hanks. It's a remake of an old Peter Sellers film. Um, Intolerable Cruelty is maybe a pinch better just because Clooney's performance is so over the top, but I didn't like Hank's performance in The Lady Killers, and I never like, what's his name? Marlon Wayans. No Country for Old Men, 2007. That's a masterpiece. It's an adaptation of a famous book, but it's just told so cool, and the acting in it is just superb, top notch. Burn After Reading is another wacky ass, like, just silly. It's on the verge of almost right there with Intolerable Cruelty. It grew on me after the second or third watching, but the first time I saw it, I was like, a little too silly. A Serious Man. Uh, Likable, but that's on my only seen it once, and Coen Brothers movies aren't great until you see them a second or third time list. True Grit, I loved a lot. I thought that was a really good remake. I saw the John Wayne one when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it since. I'm not the biggest John Wayne cowboy movie fan, but um, watching their version of it, it was really good. I enjoyed it. It makes me almost want to go back and watch the John Wayne version. Inside Llewyn Davis, still have never seen that. Hail Caesar, wacky and silly, kind of a weird combination of like their silly style, like Intolerable Cruelty and Burn After Reading, mixed with Barton Fink. It's got that old timey Hollywood feel to it, but it's also got that like screwball wackiness to it. And then in 2018, they did The Ballad of Buster Scruggs that went straight to Netflix. Pretty decent. I recommend it. I've watched it like three times, but I've fallen asleep every single time. I don't think I've ever seen the end. That's one of those like, hey, it's late. I know I like Coen Brothers stuff. And their dialogue is always so good. You can just listen to it even if you're not watching, which is messed up because their visuals are some of the best on film. Um, Joel only did The Tragedy of Macbeth in 2021. Ethan only did Jerry Lee Lewis, Trouble in Mind, Drive Away Dolls, and Honey Don't. Um, what was the name of the one they did? I believe maybe they wrote it and Sam Raimi directed it, or whatever the hell it was. Um, uh, Not seeing it on this list, but what is your guys' favorite Coen Brothers movies? Feel free to let me know in the chat or the comments. Like I say, Lebowski's probably the winner of them all, but I love this. Um, Barton Fink, Hudsucker Proxy, that period, Miller's Crossing, they just kept making hit after hit after hit after hit for me. So yeah, I would go that way. And their bones can give me the 2 hours later as we wrap up that. Um, Let's see here. Oh, the answers from the chat regarding the professor's question is Big Lebowski from May, Lebowski from Lamonia. I've heard of the old lady who swallowed a fly and then a spider. Yeah, see what I mean? To me, it's a classic children's song. I think I even saw a video for it like as a kid on, like, I don't know, Sesame Street or one. I don't know. Casey says Lebowski. Casey's still here. Uh, The fuck is that? I never heard of that. That was a fever dream, Don, the spider song. Yeah, it's about this old lady who swallows a fly, and then she swallows a spider that wriggled and triggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. And then she swallows a bird to catch the spider. She swallows a cat to catch the bird. She swallows a dog to catch the cat. She swallows a goat to catch the dog. She swallows a cow to catch the goat. She swallows a horse. She's dead, of course. See, that's how people ended up goth. That's a whole generation wearing black lace right there. I think they did was a meta type comedy, which kind of flopped. Oh, the Danny McBride, Crocodile Dundee. A few hours later, there it is. There it is. I knew it would be here. Um, my born name was Hans Werner Schumacher. Really, I was unaware of that. Uh, das ist gut. She swallowed a spider to get the fly. I don't know why she swallowed that fly. I guess should I see? Ben knows. Ben's been around. Was she being polite? The Coens worked on the Evil Dead movie. They were crew. Yeah, I believe at one point they were maybe all roommates. I think like Sam Raimi and the Coens and Holly Hunter, maybe they had a house that people crashed at various points. Like Sam Raimi or Bruce Campbell got mixed up in all that. Like the people that we love from that era were basically collaborators. Um, Lay 9, and that's it. You got 9 kids? Ja. No, they're speaking some fancy foreign talk. Filmmakers Joe Nichols that start movies by helping their friends family with this film. The old one. Yeah, they I believe they're from Fargo or somewhere in that area, Minnesota, right? Somewhere like that. They were somewhere in the Midwest, and they moved out to LA in their early years, and then they did the Blood Simple. Still blows my mind to this day that Billy Bob got to give it hard to Angelina Jolie. That's like Tim Burton being with Monica Bellucci. How does that happen? I don't know. Love is a many splendored thing. Our last name is Collier. It means a coal miner. Oh, one of my best friends growing up is a Collier. Or is that a coulier because you're French or because you're Canadian? Buster Scrub film was okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's one I keep falling asleep to, but yeah. No Country is equal to Lebowski, but I have a big Lebowski T-shirt, so maybe that wins. Yeah, I'm a certified Dudeist priest in the Church of Lebowski. Went online and filled out some form. So yeah, I have a card in my wallet that says I'm an ordained minister in the Church of Lebowski. So if anybody needs me to perform their wedding, let me know. Jim pops up to say Fargo for me. Yeah, Fargo. It's once again, it's one of those Coen brother deals where the first time you see it, but as it watches it and it grows on you, and you sort of think about what it means to you, and you look at the beauty of the snowy, cold landscapes and all of it. Um, it's one of my favorite winter movies. Like I love movies that take place in the winter. They're great for taking naps, and Fargo is one of those. The Thing, obviously. Let me know some of your favorite winter movies in the chat or the comments below. Movies with snow in them that just the snow comforts you, especially now me living in Florida. Uh, there's video and on our news footage today of a big snowstorm that hit Wisconsin and the Milwaukee, Chicago area, and it like made me homesick to be miserable. I was like, oh, I love walking in the cold and terrible snow. Here I'm like sweating every afternoon. Uh, yeah, now. Did that nursery rhyme inspire the movie Swallow? The one where the lady would swallow all that weird stuff, maybe? I don't know. Maybe. I always like to imagine all the stuff inside her that she swallowed that's then fighting and chasing each other around. The bird chasing or the cat chasing the bird and the dog chasing the cat. And, Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze did Point Break. What was their first film together? I don't know. A little Russell trivia. I'm interested to find out. Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves? Hmm. The Reebok or the Nike? I don't know. Was Keanu Reeves a background player in The Outsiders or some crap? Well, anyways, so now we're seeing on the newspaper that there's a $25,000 reward for Nathan Jr. I believe we missed one of my favorite parts where um, they're interviewing Nathan, Arizona, the owner of Unpainted Arizona, the largest unpainted furniture discount retailer in all of Arizona. He says, it says you changed your name from your birth name of Nathan Huffines. Why did you do that? He said, because would you buy a store or buy furniture from a store called Unpainted Huffines? And then later on, he says, what was the baby wearing? He's like, it was nap time. He was wearing jammies. He said, what were on the jammies? I don't know, Yodas and shit. So here he's dreaming about how well he's writing High a letter or Ed a letter. I always flip flop their names, Ed and High. He's writing Ed a letter about how he thinks it'd be better if he left with the two bank robbers tomorrow, and he's gonna send her money, and yeah, he's basically leaving his family, and but he can't do it. He just can't. He realizes he loves the family unit too much, as he says. God damn, we got us a family. There we see his real name, Herbert. Uh, Ontario Junior hockey film Youngblood. Oh, Keanu Reeves was in Youngblood. Was he the goalie? Yeah, I remember. I do recall them being in that. That's a good pull. I enjoy Youngblood. I'm not even a big hockey fan. I find Youngblood to be a very highly entertaining movie. Here's Randall Tex Cobb. He's uh, he's kind of a B movie darling. He's been in, oh God, I don't know what is Randall Tex Cobb's total number. What do you guys think? You think he's did over 100 films? Is he still with us? He had to have passed away, right? Um, he only did 33 films or 33 credits. That's crazy. I would have thought he probably was in 100. Um, Randall Tex Cobb's biggies that everybody knows him from. I first saw him in Uncommon Valor. I thought it was really kind of a crazy Vietnam movie. Um, he was in The Golden Child, Raising Arizona, bunch of TV. He was in Fletch Lives, Buy and Sell, Blind Fury with Russell Rutger Hauer. Um, he was in Digstown. Digstown's fun if you guys like earlier we were talking about Matchstick Men. If you like that type of like bait and switch, the Sting con game movie, that's a good one. Naked Gun 33 and a third, The Final Insult. He played Big Harry Khan. Jealous. He was an Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, Liar Liar, um, an episode of the X Files. Good for him. Apparently, he didn't get along with the Coens. Like he was a problem on set. I guess Nicolas Cage was too. Like the Coens, much like Tarantino and a lot of people who write their stuff, were very strict to how they wanted people to say their dialogue and not be changing the dialogue and stuff. And Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage, so he wanted to do all sorts of crazy stuff with the role. And him and the Coens kind of butted heads a little bit. Um, but apparently Randall Tex Cobb was also somewhat of an issue on set as well. When you do internet research on these things, you find all sorts of interesting gossipy stories. You also find a lot of dumbass lists that say like 43 things you didn't know about raising Arizona, and then you read them and like there's only really 11 things you didn't know, and they just kind of repeat things over and over again. Those lists are liars. Damn you, BuzzFeed. Uh, Ernest Goes to Jail, classic Cobb movie. I played those Arians in the film as a JR goalie. Oh, you played as a junior goalie. I didn't know that. Interesting. Mm. So here, Randall Tex Cobb is going to see Nathan Arizona and explain to him, that he's like a bounty hunter. And he's like, well, if you want me to bring him back, I need more of a reward than you're offering. Otherwise, I'll just sell the baby on the black market. Get back here, you warthog from hell. Um, Speaking of crazy people in this movie, let's find out about Nicolas Cage's filmography, shall we? Nicolas Cage has what the hell? 116 acting credits. Of course he does. Most notable roles are, geez, who nobody can scroll that long. His first movie was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's one of Spicoli's buddies that falls out of the van and stuff. Oh no, he's Brad's bud. Never mind. He's one of uh, Judd Nelson's buddy, right? Um, Judd Nelson. Why am I drawing a blank on old buddy's name? Judge Reinhold. Jesus. Um, The Outsiders. He was in The Outsiders? Oh, Soch number one. I didn't realize he was even in The Outsiders. Valley Girl is probably the first time I ever really paid attention to Cage. That was his big break. Same with Racing with the Moon. Birdie, there was a big turn in Birdie. It was kind of interesting. I recommend Birdie. Peggy Sue Got Married. I think that was the first time I really like enjoyed Nicolas Cage. He was just a weirdo until then, but Peggy Sue Got Married. He plays that sort of dorky boyfriend to the lead character, and you see like him throughout time. Then Raising Arizona. Moonstruck. Most people fell in love with him during Moonstruck. Vampire's Kiss. Wild at Heart. Wild at Heart's pretty crazy. Honeymoon in Vegas. Amos and Andrew. Amos and Andrew is a weird movie. I have seen it two or three times, but somehow I always rate it very low. It's him and Samuel L. Jackson, crazy buddy comedy thing. It Could Happen to You, about the real life story of a cop who tipped a waitress part of a lottery ticket and it hit. Trapped in Paradise, really stupid movie about three dumb criminal brothers trapped in this small town. Is it during Christmas time or just a snowstorm? Whatever. Kiss of Death with him and David Caruso. That's where he got beefed up. Prior to that, he was sort of a skinny, weird, I don't know. He looks like Nicolas Cage. But then around Kiss of Death, he got just swole. I'm sure he was on, the roids. And then leaving Las Vegas, he got kind of back down to normal. And The Rock, he's mid-sized, and then Con Air, he gets swole again. So he's experimenting with the juice. Face Off, City of Angels. City of Angels. Somehow I saw that in the theater to pull a Jamie Hart, but I didn't really enjoy it. It's kind of a sappy. A lot of folks liked it at City of Angels, but it wasn't for me. Snake Eyes. Although I love De Palma and I love Cage, in between on the Snake Eyes, very very middling to me. 8 millimeter, kind of hard to say you love 8 millimeter, but it's pretty dang good. It's an emotional movie, and Cage gets to really cage it up. Bringing Out the Dead, another weird, just strange directed movie. It's very edited, fast paced, and the whole thing feels like a drug trip. Gone in 60 Seconds, the remake. Captain Corelli's Mandolin. That was another one I saw in the theater for some reason. I have no idea why. Matchstick Men. Fun. We mentioned that earlier. National Treasure. Fuck National Treasure. Sorry about that. Forget National Treasure. Um, National Treasure, I strangely sometimes have a love hate relationship with. My mother's maiden name is Booth. She's like, I don't know, her great 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 uncle on some part of the family tree is the famous asshole John Wilkes Booth. So the whole plot of National Treasure, or is it National Treasure 2? Nicolas Cage wants to prove his family isn't related to John Wilkes Booth, so he goes on this big thing where he risks everybody's life and all this. So basically, he almost kills a whole bunch of people to not be my cousin. So that's part of the reason I don't like the National Treasure films. um, let's see. Lord of War, bizarre, weird movie. Same with Weatherman, very dark. Lord of War's, I don't know, for some reason they make a lot of gun runner movies. Like it's a very common thing, even though there's not a lot of shooting and action in them. You would think a gun runner movie would be nothing but action, but it's bizarrely just sales. I don't know, deal of the century and all these. Um, the Weatherman, like I say, bizarre, kind of dark comedy. Never saw World Trade Center. I have a weird thing about, especially right after that tragedy, that it came out in 2006, and I was like, I don't like them making money off of all those people dying, so I never saw World Trade Center. The Wicker Man remake, kind of famous. Not the bees, not the bees. Ghost Rider. Didn't enjoy the first Ghost Rider, but like the second one. So yeah, I don't know. He had a short appearance in Werewolf Women of the SS in the short for Grindhouse with Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu. Never saw Bangkok Dangerous. Always liked the name. Knowing, mediocre. It was okay. Typical sort of end of the world premonition type movie. It felt like it's part of I don't know, Butterfly Effect or something. They made a lot of movies like that back then. Um, Butterfly Effect isn't about the end of the world, but it's like they made these like alternate history, seeing the future type movies. Kick Ass, Season of the Witch, Drive Angry. Trespass, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. That's the one I enjoyed more. Actually, did you know Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance is less popular than the first one? I don't see how that's a thing. I like the second one way better. He was in the Snowden movie. He was in Dog Eat Dog, Army of One, Dark, Mandy, Looking Glass, um, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He played Spider-Man Noir, which is fun. Running with the Devil, Primal, Jiu-Jitsu, The Croods, Pig, the aforementioned Pig, um, Renfield, which I never saw, but I heard was bad. I've been meaning to see it. He had a cameo as Superman in the Flash movie, which was the first movie I ever did a live stream of. Sympathy for the Devil, Arcade, The Surfer, Long Legs. Oh, he's in Long Legs? I didn't know that. So yeah, there we go. There was the 2 hours later version of all the damn Nicolas Cage movies. Although I did see somebody in the chat point out Willy's Wonderland, which I did enjoy. He gives a really good silent performance in that. The movie is almost a silent film. Um, so here the two brothers, John Goodman and William Forsythe, they've kidnapped the baby. So it's a second generation kidnap. They've kidnapped the baby that's already been kidnapped. So now we're 2 generations deep in kidnapping. It's a kidnapception. And their whole relationship with the baby, where they're like just in love with it every time they look at it. They're like almost a couple trying to raise this thing. There's also a funny running gag. There's like this book, Dr. Spock's Baby Book, which was popular when I was a kid. It's like basically this guy, Dr. Spock, not Mr. Spock, but Dr. Spock, wrote a book about the best way to take care of a baby. And they keep handing it with the baby as like, here's the instructions. Um, let's see what's up with the oh boy. Look up Nicolas Cage's film. That's going to take you a while. Cage was probably tied with Jackie Chan as the most acting credits I know of. Yeah, I was surprised that it was only, what would I say, 117 or something, 116 with 7 upcoming movies. God damn. The Gunslingers, The Prince, The Carpenter's Son, Spider Noir TV series. Interesting. Lords of War, Madden as John Madden. Interesting. I would watch a movie where Nicolas Cage plays John Madden. That's wild. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. That says in production. Interesting. Um, yeah, the Cage Man got a lot of stuff. Um, great in Con Air, one of his best. Yeah, I enjoyed Con Air a lot. That's a fun, like silly. A lot of action movies that are over the top kind of rub me the wrong way, but that one hits perfect because it's so insane. Kiss of Death was awesome. He says best Cage film was Ghost Rider. The first or the second? Did you like the first? I always thought everybody liked the second one better. Then I found I was in the minority. I was like, no, the second one people thought was all slapdash and confusing. I thought it was kind of wild, and it has this same type of editing that this and Evil Dead and all that. It's just so flying at you, 100 million miles an hour. No, he knows what's what. Leaving Lost One, he was a prickly pickle. Yeah, he was. He was drunk as shit, is what he was. Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, that's Russell shouted it out. Yeah, I enjoyed Willy's Wonderland. It was bizarre. I watched it because I'd heard that they made a rip off of the Five Nights at Freddy's before the Five Nights at Freddy movie came out. So I was like, I'd be interested to see that. It was a fun, interesting movie. Awesome movie from Parts Unknown. Oh yeah, the Willy's Wonderland. Nick Cage is indeed a national treasure. I watched National Treasure and I forgot I watched National Treasure. Yeah, yeah. Uh, in National Treasure starring Nick Cage as Indiana Uncharted Croft. Pretty much. It's like we want to get in on these crazy action movies that are like a video game but aren't. The Witch with Ron Perlman was great. Lord of War and War Dogs, 11 years apart, but I felt her over around the same time. Yeah, pretty much. Mandy and Color out of Space are works of art. Yeah, Mandy in particular, I would like to watch again because it was so weird and bizarre, but just the storytelling and the pacing. That's another movie where tone and editing really just make the film. Here, the two brothers, Goodman and Forsythe, have left the baby behind. They went and robbed a gas station, and they forgot they drove off with the baby on the hood on the roof of the car, the way you do like your food or your groceries or something. And they do this real crazy like pull up to the baby and the sitting in the baby seat real fast and right up behind it. That's one where you can, if you know how movies are made, you can tell they just shot it in reverse, but it looks so crazy to see this car just speed up and cut short right in front of a baby. Jiu-Jitsu was a weird one. Haven't seen that one. Amazon is making a Spider Noir live action show with him. See, Ben was ahead of me in my recitation. Um, uh, he loves both films. I understand. Mills Crossing is amazing. John Turturro is so good. Albert Finney even better than usual. Marcia Gay made me a fan. Worth a watch. Yeah, Miller's Crossing's. I think that's probably one of the more underrated Coen films. Like the fans of theirs love and appreciate it, but that's one that doesn't get the same. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Raising Arizona, Lebowski, Fargo. People know those. Those are, you know, top tier Coen. But in that second tier, where the other hidden gems lie, Miller's Crossing's fantastic. Oh, Don beat me to the kidnapception joke. Yeah, right. Anytime you it's like a turducken. Too much stuff stuffed into each other. Bad Lieutenant remake was terrible. Yeah, don't mess with the OG. Yeah, the original was such a bizarre, weird, wild ride. Did Abel Ferrara direct both? I think maybe though. Um, but the Harvey Keitel will always be the Bad Lieutenant to me. Um, I must admit, I really like the Wicker Man remake with Nick Cage. It is good as the original, no, but damn, this Cage man. I actually enjoy the Cage version better than the original. The original looks very dated, and I didn't ever see the original till after I saw the Cage version. So to me, the Cage version kind of is the real version. Like I'm broken that way. I know that's a me thing, not anybody else thing. I don't expect anybody to come with me on that ride. But if I had my choice between the original and the Cage version, I would probably watch the Cage. Oh, snap. Dropping by to make sure my eyes were not deceiving me. Great to see you. My brother just woke up so I can't catch full stream, but definitely catching the replay. Larry, my friend, I love you so much. We will be talking and collaborating and working out things very soon, my friend. But I appreciate you dropping by. Uh, the Horror Cat Dad's about as good of a pal as anybody could have. If you're not familiar with him or his work or his friendship, I recommend you get in on all of it. The man's awesome. Um, Sad we didn't get the Tim Burton Superman movie with Cage's Superman. Did you see the Cage Superman appearance in the Flash movie in costume? Yeah, I saw that, and then I also watched that documentary about the missing Superman movie and seeing him in the outfit and all of it. Um, Mainly, I often think of the Evening with Kevin Smith, where he tells the whole story about how crazy it was, and then how Nick Cage said the script was weak, and he was like, "You're balding," or what. Um, what about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent? Thought on that. Yeah, I kind of mentioned it earlier. That's one I haven't seen and I've been meaning to. I often see it in dump bins when I'm digging through dump bins at places, and I think I should grab it. Um, but still haven't seen it. I think it's floating around, maybe on Tubi. I don't know. Everybody's saying hi to Larry. Video tasties, Don, you son of a bitch. um, that's my friend Gareth. I love when Gareth pops in here. I also need to be getting in touch with him and seeing someday when the kids are at school, maybe trying to work with him. Here's an awesome part. This scene is just nothing but funny. If you wanted to show somebody what this movie's kind of about, you could just show this bank robbery scene where Goodman and Forsyth come in here and they rob, and they're like, "All right, everybody freeze and get on the ground." And like, well, should I freeze or should I get on the ground? And they're like, "Get on the ground." And then like, "Where'd the tellers go?" And they're like, "We're on the ground, sir." Yeah, so much just like subtle humor, but at the same time, in this version of their, normally Coen Brother movies are very like dry, and this one's so over the top, but still dry somehow. It's fun. Sir Gareth has graced us with his presence. Let's see here. Larry and I watched The Nun 2 without you, Don. Yeah, I saw it pop up the other day when I was I don't know, I was watching something, news highlights or whatever. I watch mostly like my sports and my news through YouTube, and it recommended that Nun 2. I was like, they finally did it. You beautiful bastards, you finally did it. So yes, I will have to be actually sitting down and watching that at some point. I was hoping to get in on that with you guys, but we kept bumping it back and bumping it back, and then I disappeared, and then we never got to it. So I was glad that you guys actually went all the way. Hi, Prof and Rusty. Yes, Gareth is a longtime friend and collaborator, and it's always wonderful when he's here in the chats. That's one of the beauties about doing these late night streams is I get a lot of folks who are on different time zones with either a little bit earlier or a little bit later, and they get to pop in. Thus, our friend Jason from Australia and um, Gareth. So, sorry, I'm getting caught up in the movie that I'm not talking about enough. Um, oh, there's this nice thing. They drive by a sign for LaGrange, 4 miles. There's a ZZ Top song, stacked outside LaGrange. In the hotel that I stayed at, where I met my future wife and my baby mama. The part of the reason I stayed there is because it was 2 miles away from a town called LaGrange, and I liked being sacked outside LaGrange. Oh my goodness. Look who it is. Hello, Pugwall. I had mentioned you earlier, actually. I had told that my two closest confidants with letting people know about me being a new father, the only two people who really knew were you and Larry. My three amigo, three BB cohorts. None two Habit Boogaloo. Right, Professor needs to be just do all the movies, all the trailers, all the movies, anything. Put Professor in charge of everything. And morning all. Matt, nice to see you, buddy. Good morning, hola Pugwall. Jodie Foster's second film, was that Taxi Driver, or was that her first film and Freaky Friday was her second film? I don't know. Lay it on us, Russell. Um, so once again, Goodman and Forsyth have left a man behind. The baby's just sitting in the middle of the road. And here comes Randall Tex Cobb. Like I say, there's a lot of debate about what he is in this movie. Is he just a bounty hunter? Is he to represent like even the most like evil people can still fall in love with the baby fatherhood role, or is it like I say, is it a different version of Nicolas Cage and the path that his life could have gone had he not settled down and had a family? There is the badass scene though where the two of them fight it out at the end, and then Holly Hunter's coming to get the baby back from her. You give me back that baby, you warthog from hell. Like you can see the pissed off aggression of like Mama Bear. Don't mess with her. 3BB, can't tell you how great it is to see your face and your owl pals in the chat. Cool crew. I'm a lucky person. One of the first things I learned from YouTube when people were explaining how to do live streams and all that, when I watched videos, they would say, your vibe attracts your tribe. And apparently my vibe is good because I have a lot of awesome friends who are polite, funny, well informed, make awesome content, are into the same things I'm into. I've been very, very blessed with the folks I've met here on YouTube. That's why I often consider this my main community pretty much in life. Put me in charge of everything. Boy, that's not a good idea. Everything would be bad movies and big booby goth chicks. Like I said, yeah. Uh, so true, because I should be sleeping. Oh, well, man, at any point you need to disappear, you go right ahead. I'm sure I'll be doing more streams coming down the pike here. My return stream, I for sure had to make sure it was this because of sort of letting everybody know where I am with my life and what's been going on with me and all that. So that's why I picked this one. Um, see, he's got to be some kind of demon or something because he shoots him with that pistol and fire literally comes out of the wounds. So he's got to be some sort of like supernatural presence. Um, Here's the part where he's chasing her with the motorcycle, and we're getting the like motorcycle point of view. Once again, very Evil Dead like. A lot of the camera movements, the moving camera, the like use of the I don't know, was it a steady cam back then probably? Um, I'd vote for that, Professor Macabre. See what I mean? That he said it like it was a bad thing. Sleep. What kind of pizza topping is that, man? The roller derby from Kansas City Bomber with Raquel Welch. She played her daughter. Oh, there's the answer to your Jodie Foster trivia. So here we're having the classic battle at the end. Randall Tex Cobb and Nicolas Cage are fighting it out. There's this really cool scene where he grabs him in the barrel and he's squeezing the life out of him, and then you see that he's got hand grenades on him, and then when Nicolas Cage falls to the ground, you realize he's pulled the pins on the hand grenade, and instead of being like "fuck you, man," well, like how you would be in a fight, he just like looks at him, he's like, "I'm sorry." Kind of a redeeming quality for our hero. Here's a funny callback. Earlier in the movie, the when he's got all the babies in the nursery, one of them crawls out of the crib while Nicolas Cage is under the crib, and by crib I mean an actual crib, not like the house. Um, and Cage is underneath the crib, and one of the babies falls out of the crib and right into his butt. And then here, Nicolas Cage is trying to run away from Randall Tex Cobb, and he crawls under the car, and it's like almost the same exact shot, like a good bookend. I see Larry there too. Yeah, our buddy popped in. I look forward to collaborating with you all very soon, my friends. I just sort of Werner Herzog said on Black Friday, expecting a fun Christmas. Werner Herzog is a wild ride, man. It's the stuff that he's done, but yeah, I definitely would be interested in seeing what all's in it. Is it everything he's done, or is it just select films? Or tell me more about this Herzog set. So there's where Cage gets thrown to the ground, and we see that he's pulled the pins on the gun on the grenades, and he doesn't just blow up. Like if a grenade goes off, it's a big explosion. It'll hurt all the people around it, but it's not like this nuclear blast. Like I say, this movie's very Looney Tunes ish, and there is just such a giant explosion. Granted, if the dude bleeds fire, I'm assuming him exploding was probably quite an event. There you see what appears to be a boot. Yeah, there's the boot. Das Boot. I traded my sleep to be here, Matt. Fair trade. Good deal, May. Exactly. Does it include Grizzly Man, Pugwall? Because that has a interesting ending to the Bear Man. Yeah, the first time I saw Grizzly Man, that was a trippy, wild ride, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. That's a documentary that also works as like a almost a fictional narrative. It's the story itself feels like it's got a first, second, and third act instead of just like an evolving news story like a lot of documentaries. So the bad guy has been vanquished, and our heroes have decided that being a kidnapper isn't the right way to be, because what kind of heroes in movies steal babies? And Nathan Arizona comes in and points a gun at him. He's got the most ridiculous, like Wile E. Coyote, big barreled gun, but he's just so happy to see his son back. Nathan Jr. It does indeed include Grizzly Man, or doesn't include. I traded my work to be here, man. I traded his work. So yeah, I'm causing both sleep and lack of work productivity in the world. My streams are a damn nuisance. Um, Randall Tex Cobb's name in this is Leonard Smalls. Um, a lot of people think that's a reference to what is it, The Grapes of Wrath? I think it is, oh, I'm sorry, of Mice and Men, with Lenny, and they think that he's sort of an evolved character of that. That's why he's a mute or whatever in this movie. Um, I don't know about all that. A lot of guessing about what this movie's about. That's why, like I say, when it first came out, it was divisive. Not everybody loved it because it was a bit confusing and part surreal, part real, part wacky, part serious. Like there's just so much going on in it, like a lot of Coen Brothers movies. It's about 8 films: Aguirre, Wrath of God, The Enigma of Caspar Hauser, Nosferatu the Vampire, which is crazy. I really enjoyed that one. It's a perfect combination of the classic Dracula stories and the old Nosferatu. And Fitzcarraldo, and no modern ones. I've only seen two in the set. Did you ever see, oh, what's it called? Strozek, I think it's called. It's like about a guy who lives in Europe and his life sucks. I think he may be Germany. His life sucks, and he comes to America and starts a new life, thinking it's going to be better, big and beautiful and better. And his life's just like even kind of half shittier than it was back, where he was from. And it's another dark comedy, but it's a fun, crazy movie. I learned about that one from Mark Borchardt, the director of Coven, and the star of American Movie. If you haven't seen American Movie, I recommend it a lot. But Borchert's a big Werner Herzog proponent, champion of his stuff. They say the footage of the Grizzly Man ending does exist, not just the audio, but obviously that never going to get released. The Day the Clown Cried movie. Yeah, that's a crazy movie, the Grizzly Man. I'm a fan, but it's bizarre. Australia can't run itself, Mr. President. My life story, but without the America part. um, it'll be fine. I left the kangaroos in charge. He put a spider the size of a car in charge. That's become the new Australian thing. People often want to like make small anecdotes about Australia. About, do you know that they have snakes there that are bigger than telephone poles? Do they though? Yes, they do. Plus the koalas will keep the roos in line. See, a bunch of joeys, righto. The other day, my daughter said, "Can you make me a flavored water, mate?" Like, I don't know what accent that is or where the hell you got it from. Coven, not Coven. No, it's Coven, not Coven. Damn it, Ben. Why are you oughta? It's Coven, man. What else would you say? Well, why have the two little dots above the O? Just cuz, man. I'm a big Mike Shank fan. um, so here's where Nathan Arizona takes pity on Holly Hunter and Nicolas Cage, and he, instead of calling the cops, he he just tells them to go out the way they came in through their weird Lindbergh baby kidnapping ladder. But then he explains to them how they shouldn't break up. Like he gives them a little like speech, the worst thing you can do is break up. You gotta stick to it. And then this is the epilogue. It's one of the neat things about this movie. It's almost like a novel. It's got the prologue, the regular body of the story, and then the epilogue, the follow up with like this little dream sequence. And you see a conclusion to all the stories going on. You see the two dudes, Gail and Evil. They go back to prison, and which is good for them. They were more cut out for prison than normal life. Um, then we see like um, Nathan Jr. playing football and like angelic colors, like it's very like heavenly and dreamlike. Fun story. Went on a ghost tour, ran into an eastern brown snake. It left us alone. Then in the haunted church, a bat landed on me. Damn, that is a fun story, especially if it happened to somebody else and not me. My daughter does the English accent as well because my sister was a Kiwi. See, there you go. But it just threw me off. I was like, since when where did you learn that? What? I'm so confused. Uh, Not a huge bat, but a bat. Yeah, bats in general. I think even the small ones. Anybody's ever been buzzed by a bat? Anybody who's ever been like one night here, I went outside. I was trying to see what the weather was like, and I go out and look in between the trees and see, what kind of skies it is. We live relatively close to the ocean by the Gulf of Mexico, so like, usually the skies are cloudy. So when it's not cloudy, I like to go out and look. And I see some weird thing fluttering around the street light, and I'm trying to figure out, what kind of weird Florida creature is this? And sure enough, it's a bat. It swarms in on me and buzzed me. Rip Mike. Yeah, I'd heard somewhere that Mike Shank passed away. It made me sad. Uh, I follow I follow Mark on Instagram. He used to have I don't know if he still does, do a radio show in the Milwaukee area. I almost never caught it. Did it bite you, Jason? Is he a president vampire bat? No, no bites or scratches. It wanted to be my friend. Uh, I've been hit by a bat, but the wooden kind hurt like hell. I'll tell you what. Oh, could have made you immortal, right? I'd get the name Batman from the night though. Um, so we're High has now gotten to the final part of his premonition of the future, where he sees that they have kids, and um, his kids have kids and he has like a big family. So instead of Ed being unable to have kids, apparently they were allowed, they did get blessed with some kids. And we see like this big Thanksgiving dinner, and we see the two cute old couple. They've grown old together. They never split up. It's got kind of this very sweet, sappy ending for such a like crazy movie. But part of the charm of the movie is it makes you root for two kidnappers, you know, and all children are happy and beloved. I don't know. Maybe it was Utah. So the movie ends where you kind of makes it seem almost as if there's going to be a Raising Utah film. But I think it's just sort of a play on the fact that this whole thing takes place in Arizona, the barren desert land and all this. But it's such a fun, silly movie. It's got, so many good jokes, so many memorable scenes. Directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. Our director of photography was Barry Sonnenfeld. Let's see what his filmography was here. Barry Sonnenfeld, you probably best know as for, I believe, Men in Black is probably his biggest, right? Uh, Director. He has 26 films he directed. Um, uh, no, that's Get Shorty. Let's see. He did the original Adams Family, the Adams Family Values, Get Shorty, which is fantastic. I love Get Shorty so much. Men in Black, Wild Wild West. Oof. I think that's probably what hurt him. Um, he Big Trouble, Men in Black 2, RV, Pushing Daisies. Yeah, pretty much after. Um, oh, he did the Beverly Hills Cop TV movie. Uh, um, Series of Unfortunate Events, the TV series. But yeah, it looks like to me like pretty much Wild Wild West ruined his career. But prior to that, The Adams Family Values, Get Shorty, Men in Black 1 and 2. That alone is a pretty damn good, impressive directorial catalog. Oh, let's see here. Uh, the Bearded Bay Ninja. Folks are saying hello to each other. I can't type at this time. It's okay, May. We're wrapping up. It is 3 a.m. Eastern time, which my old time slot, this would have been 2 a.m. and I would have been ready for a double feature. So if you have thoughts on what a good double feature with Raising Arizona, earlier we had thrown out Hobbs had thought My Cousin Vinny is a good double feature with this. I would say, like I said, I feel like Evil Dead is strangely a weird cousin to this. Um, uh, but really, any Coen Brothers movie you could match up with it. Hudsucker Proxy is probably a fun one to mix with this, for kids. Um, Rosemary's Baby, that is a wonderful. Actually, I made my wife watch that, especially since our daughter's name is Mia, and Mia Farrow stars in it. I was like, I got one for you to watch. What a wonderful person I am. Hey, you're pregnant. You should see Rosemary's Baby. Um, 3 a.m. So par for the course for a night owl stream. Yes, indeed it is. And like I say, this one was the main one I wanted to do to get back into the swing of things because of everything attached to it and all the stuff we just talked about for the last 2 hours. So now that this one's off the docket, I can move on to all sorts of other winners. And the baby slept. She was supposed to get up at 2 for a feeding, and I haven't heard her crying. I haven't seen any stirring. So let's keep our fingers crossed she gets a good night's sleep. And I think, Ben thinks Ferris Bueller would be a good double feature. Mhm. That poor lady. Yeah, right. I think that to myself all the time. I was like, you're such a wonderful woman, if for nothing else than tolerating me. Later's all country's not going to rule itself. I thank you for joining us, Mr. President, and you, El Presidente Macabro. Never let a lady see the French movie Inside. She will never sleep or want to be alone ever. Um, yeah, we also right after we watched after we watched Rosemary's Baby, we watched American Horror Story season 1, which is the what is it, Murder House or whatever, and that thing's got a whole Rosemary's Baby subplot too. She just kept like looking at me like, "What are you showing me?" Take care, everyone. Take care, Ginger. I appreciate you being here. Folks are saying bye to Jason. And that was Raising Arizona. It is a 7.3 on IMDb, a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. 82% of Google's users like it. It was made for $5.5 to $6 million, and it made almost 30. So fortunately, it was a success. That by the usual standards, it's a fine return on your investment there. So on the whole, I would recommend Raising Arizona to anybody. If any of you have thoughts about it or would like to continue, feel free to put that in the chat right now, real fast, before we wrap things up, or in the comments later. I think this is obviously great Cage, not just good Cage, and arguably Holly Hunter's best movie. Arguably. Um, See No Evil with Mia Farrow. I've never seen that one. Better to let them know early what they're getting into. Down right. That's what I say. It's like trying to let them know I'm nuts. American Horror Story Delicate even shows something about Rosemary's Baby. That's one of the things I like about those American Horror Stories is they take the bits and pieces from all over different genres of horror and different horror stories, and they throw them together in a blender and tell a fun story. Oh, great, Strain Dons, but great to have you back. Oh, you're all far too kind to me. Good night to all my friends. Good night to you, Russell, and good night to all of you in the chat. And thank you for joining me for my return stream and hanging out and talking with me and providing your thoughts on my thoughts about things that I have thoughts on. I love you all very much. I've missed you very much. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to now hopefully start carving out some little windows where I can talk with you and push merch. Which this is a great time to push merch for the Night Owl Movie Talk merchandise catalog collection. It's all in the description below. Feel free to get yourself some merch. Get yourself a blanket like this one I have hanging up over here behind me. Um, let's see here. The movie Don, I love listening to you. Chat celluloid. Glad to see you're back and doing well, Don. Thanks for the comeback. Good night. I appreciate all of this. Glad you're back and congrats again on all the happy stuff. Don't ever leave us again. I will try not to. Um, Casey says, I appreciate you, Casey. It was nice seeing your cat here earlier. Your turn, Matt. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you so much for being here in the middle of the night with me watching a wonderful Coen Brothers film. And be sure to, check out the channel, see old videos, refresh your memory of what I used to do and what I hope to do in the future. Be sure to check out everybody in the chat. They're all amazing. And you, my friends, I wish you all green grass and high tides forever. Adios, amigos.